CCORAL resides on the website of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. And in fact, CCORAL was designed by the center to inculcate a climate risk management ethos in decision making. CCORAL was developed for the Caribbean, by the Caribbean. We'll navigate through CCORAL this afternoon. The very first thing we'll do is to open the page, which I'm on right now, the climate change webpage, or the webpage of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. And we'll look at the menu at the top, and we'll click on Tools. A drop-down box opens up, and we scroll down to CCORAL Risk Management Tool, and we click on CCORAL Risk Management Tool. So we click on that, and it opens up the page, the CCORAL Risk Management Tool page, with some basic information on what CCORAL is, what it's meant to do, where it's going, and why CCORAL is instituted as a decision support tool in the Caribbean. As I said earlier, it is designed to engender a risk management ethos in decision making. So we click on the Start CCORAL Now button right up here. Click on that, and it opens up the introductory page on CCORAL. CCORAL, so you'll see the map of the Caribbean, and those countries that are highlighted in yellow are CARICOM member countries. CARICOM member countries to which CCORAL is applicable. As I move the cursor across those countries, in each of the highlighted countries, we will see the name of the country and the flag of that country as well. So only those countries highlighted in yellow are the countries to which CCORAL applies, and these are the CARICOM member states. So here we're focusing on Jamaica. So we have the option of opening the CCORAL tool either by clicking on the island, the country of Jamaica here, or through this dialog box at the top where it says choose a country, and we can scroll down to the country of our interest while applying CCORAL. In this instance, we'll select Jamaica. So I can click either on Jamaica here in this drop-down box, or click on the map, which shows up the name of the country and its flag, and opens up a page that says, Welcome to CCORAL for Jamaica. Now you'll notice that there are three columns. One to the left that says CCORAL, with a menu that are clickable links that can be used to navigate CCORAL. Any one of those will take you to the appropriate page within CCORAL without navigating sequentially. What I will do now is take you through CCORAL sequentially, but let me just show you what those are. To the right, you will see a column that says resources. And since we're talking about Jamaica, we'll see Jamaica-related resources here. There's the Search the 5 Seas Clearinghouse, and this is another body of information. We'll come to that in a bit. And of course, a listing of the critical CARICOM agencies that are part of the regional makeup for the CARICOM organization. What we will do today is go through CCORAL sequentially, and this is geared towards those persons who are not familiar with the climate change issues. So CCORAL allows you to navigate and to assess any activity either as an expert or a non-expert. If you're a non-expert and don't know too much about climate change, then one would simply use Understanding Climate Influence on Decisions for Non-Experts. And there's the one for experts where it provides shortcuts. If you know more about climate change, then there's no need to go through the very long process of the sequential application of CCORAL. But for the purposes of this exercise, we'll do the sequential process. So at the bottom of this first page, you will see a button that says Continue Screening Exercise. We click on that. This takes us to the screening exercise. The screening exercise is the very first item that one would employ in evaluating a program, a project, or any activity for that matter. So it is a box with 10 simple questions requiring a yes or no response. Just above those responses, you will see a space for inserting the title of the activity that we want to screen. So let's assume that we're given a residential development by the government to determine the climate influences of this planned activity. So we insert the title of the activity that we are screening in the space that says insert the title, in this instance residential development, and then below that we're instructed to insert a short description of the activity that we're screening. So we'll put in here, we'll just type in residential development. Again, we're limited in the number of words that we could use, but once this box has information, it doesn't need to be thorough information, just a very, very brief description. So in this instance, we'll call that coastal residential development. So we go through all the questions in CCORAL and we answer those. The very first question is your activity located in or relevant to an urban, coastal or marine area or any other environmental sensitive or protected area? So let's assume it is, and we'll click yes. So we click yes and a tick appears in that box. So we go through all the questions. Question number 2, will the effects, outcomes of the activity last longer than 10 years? We click yes again because if it's a residential development where construction buildings, roads, other infrastructure, it will last longer than 10 years. Or make a significant contribution towards the achievement of a priority national development plan objective. And let's assume yes. Let's assume that housing or the provision of housing is a key component of government's national development plans. And we click yes for this one. So we've completed the responses. We've filled in the description and the title. And we click on the button below that says calculate score. So we click on calculate score and we see result. The screening result reads your activity has been screened as high priority. It means that this is a climate influence activity and is a high priority. It is therefore strongly recommended that the user continues using CCORAL to assess the impacts of climate change on this activity or the impacts of the activity may have on climate change itself. So this is recorded as a high priority. Now we're asked below, if we scroll to the bottom of this result, we'll see a button that says generate a PDF. In generating the PDF, we're actually producing a report, and this report has been downloaded. We've actually generated a report that provides us a window of exactly what our responses are to each of the questions and the result, which is your activity has been screened as a high priority. So in the report, you will see, for example, the title of your activity, the activity description, coastal residential development, the screening results, and our responses to each of the questions are tabulated here in this table, and of course the result, your activity has been screened as a high priority. So this is a report which is now not a part of CCORAL, but it's essentially the beginning of the report that you would present to your policymakers or whomever requires information.